What happens in the body if you give up sugar for 2 weeks? First, you will lose your appetite for sugar. Why? Because every time you eat sugar, a hormone is produced that lowers your blood sugar levels, resulting in low blood sugar and a kind of hypoglycemia. And that in turn will cause you to crave sugar. So by stopping eating sugar, you get rid of the sugar cravings. Secondly, you will have less hunger, which is why you are constantly hungry. By giving up sugars, you stop having that hunger. Why? Because your blood sugar levels are normalized, your cells can get real nutrition. Because when you're living off of sugars and because they're toxic to the body starts to resist them. This is what insulin resistance is. That is, the body blocks insulin because it controls sugar levels, and the body is trying to limit the sugar levels inside the cells. The body doesn't think sugar is helpful, rather the opposite. When you give up sugars, the body starts to come around and can get a lot more nutrients along with the right amount of fuel. After all, insulin resistance prevents the body from also getting nutrition, micro and macronutrients, vitamins, and this is one of the functions of insulin. Third, less fatigue, especially after a meal. If you regularly consume sugar, you will usually be tired after a meal. And this is related to your blood sugar levels. You will find that fatigue after meals has decreased. This means that now your blood sugar levels are not as high, and it's the sugar that causes brain fatigue. But now your sugar is normal and your brain is able to stay awake. Fourth, excess water and fat will come out of you. The first week, a lot of water and some fat will come out of you, and then it will be mostly fat. You'll be surprised how much fluid is retained in you. Some people lose about 6 pounds in a week in the form of fluid. You're carrying that water around in you, and that can't be good for your heart. Of course, you will find that your clothes have gotten big, especially in the waist. The size of your belly and waist will best indicate that you are consuming too much sugar. Reduce your sugar intake and your belly will shrink. Eat sugar and your belly will grow. Fifth, improve your mood. If before you were grumpy and moody, you will become much calmer, and it will be pleasant to be near you, and that's great. Your mental capacity will increase. Your concentration will improve, and you will be more attentive. You'll have less attention deficit and more focus on your business. Sixth, your skin will look much better. Your rashes will be less and your skin will glow. This is very revealing because when you consume sugar, insulin goes up and then the androgens go up, which leads to rashes. In the male body, increased insulin will decrease testosterone, and there will be other problems that are associated with low testosterone. 7. Stiffness will decrease. Inflammation will decrease. There will be less pain. So all we're doing is switching from sugar to fat as fuel. That takes 3 days. You're reducing the carbohydrates and sugar. You may have an exacerbation of symptoms for 3 days, but anyone can tolerate that. And if you take the B vitamins and nutritional yeast and potassium, you may well have no symptoms and it will go away easily. You are building new enzymes at the cellular level so that your body can run on fat as fuel. There are real machines in the body that literally rebuild to a new kind of fuel. During these 2 weeks, you will have less inflammation inside your arteries. This will help prevent blockages and plaques from forming and reduce the risk of a stroke or heart attack. Brain cells will also begin to form. Why? In the absence of sugars, the body begins to run on another fuel, ketones. And ketones help form nerve cells. Next, the liver, you'll start to eliminate the fat that's been accumulating in the liver, and you can use it as fuel. You'll start the process of cleaning the liver so it's no longer fatty. By the way, if you have a big belly, chances are you have a fatty liver. So by doing all this, you will reduce the amount of fat in your liver. And finally, your kidneys will work better. If you look at diabetics, it's the kidneys that are at risk. If you cut down on sugars and carbohydrates in general, kidney function will improve dramatically. Sugar has a very strong effect on us. Therefore, it is not surprising that we experience such withdrawal when we refuse to consume it or at least reduce it. Unpleasant symptoms are usually reported by those in the early stages of sugar withdrawal. These symptoms include depression, increased anxiety, blurred consciousness, and overwhelming cravings for sweets, accompanied by headaches, fatigue, and dizziness. So yes, giving up sugar can be unpleasant, making it difficult for some of us to make the transition to a different type of diet. The basis for these symptoms is not yet well understood, but it is likely that their occurrence is related to the very neural pathways of the reward system in the brain. Although the assumption of sugar addiction is controversial, experiments with rats have provided evidence that sugar, like other addictive substances, can provoke binge eating, irresistible cravings, and withdrawal anxiety. anxiety. Other animal studies have shown that the condition of the body hooked on sugar is akin to that of an addict. However, most studies in this area have been done on animals, so it is difficult to judge how true this is for humans. Behind the symptoms complained of by people who have removed sugar from their diets are almost certainly changes in the chemical balance in the brain. Dopamine, in addition to being involved in the reward system, also regulates hormonal activity, nausea, and vomiting reflexes in states of anxiety. When sugar is withdrawn from the diet, the rapid decrease in dopamine exposure in the brain probably interferes with the normal functioning of neural pathways, and this explains why the unpleasant symptoms occur. As with any transition to a new diet, the key is not to back down and continue to stick with it. If you want to give up sugar seriously and permanently, it's critical to get through the first, most difficult few weeks. In 2-3 weeks, the sugar withdrawal will be over, your well-being will improve, and with it, your health indicator. In a study of children with metabolic syndrome just 10 days after complete sugar withdrawal, there was a significant improvement in a number of physiological markers. Blood pressure dropped, low-density bad cholesterol and blood glucose levels dropped, and insulin levels decreased. Fat deposits in internal organs decreased by 22%. This is one of the most important indicators of metabolic health. In this case, it is quite possible to do without sugar. It will be replaced by complex carbohydrates from whole grains, cereals in the shell, and legumes. In the process of digestion, they are broken down into glucose and fructose. But this process occurs more evenly, providing the body with a stable flow of energy without sudden jumps. Fresh fruits and vegetables, as part of a balanced diet, completely cover the body's need for sugar in a safe form for health. Recovery of an adult body may take a little longer, but it is important to know. No harm will come from the complete rejection of sugar, and the health benefits will be significant. So there you have it. As the saying goes, to appreciate a pudding, you have to eat it. Thank you for watching this video.